Today's piece of art is going to be a bit different. It's going to be an animal drawing, but then it's going to turn into a bit of a design. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an animal drawing to start with, but then we're going to turn it into a mixed media piece of art. We're going to be using the things we've learned from some of our previous videos. We're going to be using pencil, marker, colored pencil, and watercolors. Let's go. We're going to start today's piece of art by using shape drawing. We did this previously in another video, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. We're going to use a copyright-free photograph of a cat that I found as our beginning reference and draw our animal using shape drawing. So once the drawing of the cat is in place and I feel pretty satisfied with that, then I'm going to start layering in my shards, or these triangular type shapes, on top of the drawing. So this seems very odd at first. These shards will give us our parameters on where we're going to put what types of art supplies. And in particular, are we going to be doing color or black and white? So whatever is inside my shards, I'm going to make that black and white. And whatever is outside the shards, I'm going to be making that color. This is the beginning of adding black and white patterns to the shards sections. This is quite a lengthy process because to do this properly, you want to make sure it looks really clean and nice. I'm using Zentangle designs, and if you've not seen the previous video on Zentangles, go check that out because that can give you some good guidance. So I've gone back with micron pens to clean up my edges. So now I know exactly where my patterns are, and I'm going to go back in and fill in my patterns with Sharpies. The great thing about Sharpies is that they are permanent and waterproof. So as I go back on top of the Sharpies later with additional supplies, they're not going to bleed or run. There were several layers of color. I began adding color using watercolors, and I have another video on this if you'd like to learn more about how to use watercolors. I'm using a water brush with watercolors. This is allowing me to have lots of nice thin layers and transparencies, using these intense warm colors of yellows, oranges, and eventually a few reds here and there. For my background, I'm using cool tones in opposition to the warm tones of the cat. I'm using alcohol markers, but you could just as easily use any art supply that you have at hand. I could continue using watercolors or even colored pencils would have been great. I realized that I wanted more details on top of the cat, so I went back with colored pencils to increase the shading, but also increase the level of detail that I originally had. I realized that the piece did not have enough visual contrast, so I went back with some more watercolor and I made the background darker than the cat. After I had the background the way I liked it, I realized that there was something that was really bugging me. I realized that it was the contrast level of the patterns and the black and white sections on the cat were too high. So it was attracting my attention way too much. I wanted to focus on the cat's face because that was my focal point. All these shards were all pointing towards the cat's face, but the patterns, the black and white patterns on the cat, were fighting it. So I went back with white color pencils and black color pencils, and I reduced the contrast of the pattern. So I colored directly on top of the patterns to soften it a bit. At this point, I felt pretty good about what I had. I could go back and add more materials, additional mixed media. I could put in construction paper. I could do more little drawing elements. I hope you're inspired by this video and you feel like you want to make your own creation using this method. If you do, please share your creations with me on Instagram at createartwithchris. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video, go ahead and click on this one too. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to Create Art with Chris right here.